Take me away in your Shelby 68. Well, howdy, my cowboys and cowgirls and cowthems. You're watching a new episode of Kylie Retrospectives, a series in which we delve into the discography of the legendary Miss Kylie Minogue in the lead up to her new album, Disco, which comes out on Friday, the 6th of November, at the time of recording. That's this week. Finally. I am ElliXia Q Valentine, Malvern's answer to Sue Elise Nash. This week we're bringing things up to date by discussing Kylie's most recent studio album, Golden. Also available as a deluxe version, and as a cassette, and as a picture disc, and as a vinyl. Yes, the rumours are true, I do contribute towards Kylie's utility bills. You're welcome, Kylie. Today's look is inspired by, well, Golden. Obviously the colour scheme with Golden, there's a lot of gold, sort of sunset hues. So I thought I would, go for that as well. Maybe this is more bronze than it is golden, but gold's expensive, isn't it? So I'm not made of money, because I spend it all on Kylie records. So Golden was released on the 6th of April 2018. It reached number 1 on the UK albums chart, and it spawned the singles Dancing, Stop Me From Falling, Golden, A Lifetime to Repair, and Music's Too Sad Without You. I have a lot of love for this album. Golden was a change in direction for Kylie. During the recording process of the album, she took a trip to Nashville, and that completely changed the direction this album was going in. Whilst Golden is still primarily a pop album, there are a lot of country influences to be found throughout. And it showed that 31 years into her career, Kylie was still experimenting and constantly coming up with ways to keep things fresh. Speaking of which, Golden was such a refreshing era. 2018 was a good time to be a Kylie fan, I can tell you that. After two fairly sort of lackluster eras with Kylie Christmas and Kiss Me Once, it was great to see Kylie at the top of her game again with Golden. You can just tell, looking at the interviews, watching the tour footage, how much Kylie really enjoyed Golden. Kylie was so much more engaged with this album, and it was great to see. The promo for Golden was much better than it was with Kiss Me Once. And Kylie Christmas had decent promo, of course, but with a Christmas album you're very limited with the window that you have to promote your music. Golden was the first album to feature more than 3 singles in a long time. So get your saddles and let's ride on into this track listing. I would do my usual thing of having the singles first and then going into the album tracks, but the first 4 singles are in that order on the album anyway, so we'll just go with how it is. Up first we have lead single Dancing. Dancing instantly makes me smile whenever it comes on. I love it. It's really heartwarming and comforting, also quite emotional and poignant as well. Immediately with Dancing, the mission statement for the album is there. Certainly not one of those lead singles that's a red herring or anything like that. Dancing is so indicative of what the rest of the album is going to sound like. Dancing contains a lovely, lovely message about wanting to do the best in your life and make the most of your time on this earth, so that when that time is up, you feel fulfilled and satisfied. You know you've had a good time, you know you've left your mark, and you've done what you were meant to do. And I think that's very important. That obviously has different meanings to different people in terms of what it is that qualifies as sort of living your best life. There's a bittersweet tinge to it, I think Dancing takes what is obviously quite a heavy subject and makes it enjoyable and heartwarming and comforting. The song to me honestly feels like a hug. Also think it's worth pointing out as well, this album is the first album since Impossible Princess, so a whole 20 years prior to this, in which Kylie has written every single song. And subsequently, we have some of her most sort of philosophical lyrics that we've had in a long time. Dancing is a lovely song and just a lovely reminder to just enjoy yourself, basically. Take your cue from album number 2 and enjoy yourself. Track 2 and single number 2, Stop Me From Falling, comes next. Stop Me From Falling kind of picks up sound-wise where Dancing left off. It's up-tempo, it's a little bit dancey with country elements. We've got the guitars and the banjos and the yee-haws. Stop Me From Falling, which is a song title I love as well. I remember when the track listing was revealed, I saw that and I thought, oh, I really like that title. The song sings about being in that situation with somebody where you kind of have feelings for them, you're developing feelings for them, but you're still a bit unsure, and you're still a bit like, are we just friends? I don't know. And it actually really came to life on tour as well. I really love the tour version. It just injects a little bit more oomph in the song. It had a single remix featuring Gente de Zona as well, featuring a lovely new layer over the chorus in Spanish as well, which just adds to the experience. Unfortunately, I can't sing along to it because I can't speak Spanish. But it's still very good. And also, it goes without saying, but Kylie looks stunning in the video. On the Gente de Zona single cover, where she's in the red dress and she's like against the wall, like, she looks really good. Probably better than what I look like just then. Then we have single number 3, Golden, the album's title track. Golden takes things a little bit more mid-tempo. I would say Golden, the song, would fit in quite well with mainstream radio, yet doesn't sound like it's trying to be trendy or trying to be like a big chart success. Like if a younger artist released Golden, it probably would have been all over Radio 1. But that's just the way it is. Golden does address sort of the topic of Kylie's age, which is something that basically every reviewer and every news article or interview with Kylie or about Kylie during this era loved to bring up. Yes, Golden was released just under 2 months before she turned 50, and boy, did the media like to remind you of that. Literally, every interview or article was like, Kylie is 50 this year, or Kylie just turned 50. Or it'd be like, Kylie, how does it feel to be 50 and unmarried still? It's just like, can you ask something else? Like, can you come up with something else, please? Anyway, Golden, the song, does talk about the subject of age and how you're effectively as young as you feel. The line, we're not young, we're not old, but the story's not yet told. Can't be bought, can't be sold, we are golden. And I think it's just like, you know, age is somewhat subjective. Obviously, I think there is such a thing as you're too young to know this, or maybe too old to want this, whatever kind of thing. Age does play a big part in your life. But I think you get to a point where what's expected of you at a certain age isn't necessarily what's right for you, or what you even want to do. Like, I'm 28, I am not even remotely close to being married, nor do I have any children, nor am I even close to being a homeowner. But that's my life at the moment, and that's my path. I'm not young, I'm not old, I'm golden. Next we have single 4, A Lifetime to Repair, which probably takes the country direction this album was going in to the highest level. It's very much yeehaw, barn dancing, banjo flavoured song this album has to offer. It's somewhat comedic, singing about Kylie's tendency to pick the wrong guy and always sort of like seeing a guy who is really bad for her. But that's fine, she'll still go with it anyway. Of course, another topic that the media like to focus on with Kylie is, again, how she's unmarried and how she is 50 and whatever. And I think A Lifetime to Repair kind of pokes fun at that. It's very much like, oh, tell me about it. Then we move on to track number 5, Sincerely Yours, a love letter to the fans. So it's the closest Kylie's ever come to writing a song about me, which is just really sweet. Sincerely Yours is actually about needing a break from the stage. It's like, thanks. It's about how much she loves performing and how much she loves the fans, but sometimes she just needs a bit of space and just needs to come back when it's time. And I absolutely respect that, you know, self-care is important, and Kylie is somebody who obviously needs to take care of herself. It's cool, we'll still be waiting for you, Kylie. You take all the time you need. I actually listened to Sincerely Yours a lot earlier this year when I moved out of Malvern, because I was sort of thinking like, oh, this is au revoir, but don't worry, I'm not going too far, I'll be back again. You still got a place in my heart and all that kind of stuff, you know. That's also not equating my life in Malvern to be my fans, by the way, either, just so that we're clear on that. Up next we have track 7. No, we don't, we have track 6. Up next we have track 6, which is a song called One Last Kiss. One Last Kiss is about needing that one last kiss. This guy is on his way, but Kylie just wants that one last thing to remember him by. It's very, very sweet actually, and it's very Again, very country inspired. It's got a little bit of that line dancing beat to it as well. And Biff Stannard, who produced the song, who is one of the most prolific producers in British pop, he shared on his Instagram a clip of the original version, which was less countrified, a lot more in the vein of Kylie's traditional pop music, and I would definitely love to hear a full version of that. So, is it too late for a golden remix album featuring how the songs were supposed to sound originally? Probably. But we can hope, right? Then we're on to track number 7, which is Live a Little. A really relatable song for me, for sure. Very much about wanting to sort of pack up and move, wanting to pursue your destiny. Again, touches on the topic of age with Get Away With Everyone Who Tells Me It's Too Late, because I think basically Kylie's saying, fuck it, I don't care if I'm 50, I can still start a new life, and you're not going to stop me. It's very relatable to me, you know, again, in terms of leaving Malvern. When Golden came out, I was still living in Malvern, and I'd listen to Live a Little and I'd be thinking, oof, I want to move. I want to branch out, you know, and find my destiny, effectively. And I did, which is great. And then the pandemic happened, so destiny is still not found yet, but we'll find her one day. There's also that level of reassurance with Live a Little as well, when she's, you know, singing to her family and friends, saying like, you know, you're always going to be with me, you're always going to be in my heart, you're still going to mean the world to me, basically. So I do have to confess, I often sing, instead of Get Ready to Dance and Live a Little, I often sing Get Ready to Dance and Shop at Lidl instead. And of course, other supermarkets are available. Then we are on to track 8, Shelby 68. Shelby 68 is one of my ultimate favourites on this album. I think it is lovely. They definitely missed the trick with this one, not releasing it as a single. It's like the perfect summer sunset song to listen to when you're on a drive. It's very seductive, it's very sexy, it's very sort of Daisy Dukes-ish. She's singing about getting with a guy who she knows is a bit of a bad boy. He's not going to be good for her at all. He's going to screw her over, but she doesn't care. She's just going to go for it. She's just going to live her best life with him until, of course, he screws her over. Absolutely one of my favourites on this album. I feel like makes me want to be a slut, basically. Anyway, and I remember listening to Golden for the first time, and it came to Shelby 68, and I was just like, oh, this is gorgeous. This is really gorgeous. I don't know what I was expecting with Shelby 68, but it wasn't that, and I was just like, oof. That's it. That's some good shit right there. Up next we have Radio On, which is a lovely, lovely, lovely stripped back ballad about how music is a way to escape. It's a really good way to just lose yourself in a song for a few minutes, and it's done really well. It's very tender, it's very, very stripped back and minimal. She did a showcase for Golden just under a month before the album came out, and I didn't watch all of it because I wanted to be surprised, but I did see a clip of Radio On, and I was like, oh shit, this is gonna make me cry, isn't it? Then we're on to track 10, which is called Love. Love is very sweet. It's quite up-tempo. It sounds a bit like the kind of song you'd expect to hear in an advert. It's rather feel-good and it's rather cute, and I really like the lyric, love is a day in bed, because I very much relate to that. It's then followed up by the lyric, lying in your lover's t-shirt, and I do not relate to that, because I am eternally single. But that's okay. The first part of the lyric I fully relate to and endorse. Love is a day in bed. It is. Then on track 11 is Raining Glitter. This song was actually released as a promo before the album came out as well, and it was sort of labelled as that song that's like the closest to sort of classic Kylie for any fans that may have been put off by the country direction as the album was going in. Raining Glitter is very lovely and feel good. It's the most danceable track, I guess. It's the least countrified track anyway. Sort of one of those classic seize the moment and feel good kind of songs and just have a good time. One of the lyrics is, gonna miss that train, don't take me home, I've got all I need right here. And I'm not gonna lie, the thought of that is very scary to me. But maybe it's something I need to try one day. Maybe I'll miss that train home and have a great night until sunrise. I don't know. That sounds scary to me, I don't like it. There's a whoop sound effect that's present throughout the song, and every time I love it. It makes me very happy. It adds a few minutes to my life, I think. And then to close the standard edition of the album, we have the album's final single, Music's Too Sad Without You. A duet with Jack Savaretti as well. Music's Too Sad Without You is absolutely stunning. I remember it premiered on Radio 2 a few days before the album was released, and I just listened to it, and I literally just closed my eyes and was just like taking it all in. It's lovely. It's very sad. It's about a breakup and how music is very hard to listen to now because without him it's no good. Kind of the antithesis as to what Radio On was about, but you know, that's fine. Music's Too Sad Without You is really, really nice. It's very much like a sad waltz, I guess. You can picture it a scene in a film where it's like a couple's last dance. Or maybe one half of the couple is dancing with the other half, but that other half isn't actually there. It very much gives me that vibe. And their voices work really well together. It works lovely as a duet as well. One of Kylie's finest ballads, absolutely. At the end of the album standard edition, on the deluxe edition, as well as on the digital version, we have 4 extra tracks. First of these is Lost Without You, which is probably this album's best song. Lost Without You is really, really good. It's a little bit more electronic, so I can see why it wasn't included on the album because it doesn't quite blend in with the rest of the record, but I still think it would have been a really fabulous closer. It kind of takes that breakup theme again, but more sort of Kylie finding herself wanting to have fun and let loose and get lost, basically. Again, relatable to me as well. Listened to it a lot when it was new, and living in Malvern, having that feeling of like, I just want to break out. I just want to break out and just go for it and just not be afraid of fun, let my makeup run, as the lyrics say. And there's a fantastic spoken word middle eight as well, which the first time I heard it, I was just like, wow, I love this so much. The universe was ours and then disappeared, but the skies are still blue, with or without you. And I love it so much. There's a great bit in the intro as well where she says, can I be honest with you? Can I tell you the truth? And I'm like, yes, Kylie, read me to filth, give me all the tea. And Lost Without You was a huge fan favourite as well. It was done on the tour, which for a bonus track is quite rare. It really was a moment as well. I love Lost Without You. It's a shame it wasn't a single really, but it's an amazing song and it's a fan favourite. It very much sounds like classic Kylie, yet experimenting at the same time. And that's what I love to hear from Kylie. Then we have Every Little Part of Me, which is track 14. Very nice song about previously being hurt, and if you want to be with Kylie, you've got to take all of her baggage, but there's also all of her greatness within that as well. If you want to be my lover, you've got to get with my baggage. And it's like, yes, I do have a lot of scars, but I also have a lot of beauty as well, and a lot of greatness within me that you've only ever dreamt about. Track 15 is Roll In, no G at the end of it. Roll In was a B-side to the physical release of Dancing as well. Rolling is really good actually, about sort of seizing the day again. Got that classic sort of live a little message. Would make for a nice way to close out the album, definitely. A great song to listen to on a summer's day when you're looking up to the sky and feeling hopeful. I don't remember what that feels like, but I'm sure it's nice. And to close out the deluxe edition, we have track 16, which is Low Below. It's cute, it's quite camp, and it's quite a bit sort of cheeky, wink wink, nudge nudge, that kind of song. A bit of an odd way to close the album, but it's enjoyable and it's fun nonetheless. In the projections on the Golden Tour, there were a few shots of a road sign that said Low Blow on it, and I thought, well, that's a nice touch, I like that. And that concludes Golden. There aren't any B-sides on this album other than Rolling, which is also on the album anyway. I guess we're sort of living in that era now where B-sides are somewhat obsolete because of streaming, which is a shame because I really do love a good B-side. But you gotta roll in with the times. See what I did there? Thank you. All in all, Golden is a really rewarding experience. I remember being very excited for it when it came out, and it definitely did not disappoint. And I think Golden was such a successful era for Kylie. The tour was great. There was a lot of goodwill, I think, towards Kylie again, from the fans and from the general public as well. She was a Radio 2 darling, as it were. It's an album that suits where Kylie is and where she was at this time, as a woman who is a bit older than your average pop star, and as a woman who isn't aiming for mainstream top 10 chart success anymore. Golden's an album that manages to feel like a Kylie record while still reinventing herself. It shows Kylie still experimenting all these years into her career, and it's very cohesive as well. I think Kylie is ultimately at her best with cohesive records that sound great from start to finish and that have like a clear aesthetic and a clear sound and like a clear goal, if you will. And Golden was great for giving Kylie's career a new lease of life. Some fans were put off a bit by the country sound. I understand that it is different, it's not what you'd expect, and truth be told, I guess if I was directing a Kylie album, country probably wouldn't be the direction that I'd go in, but I still really like the end product. And at the end of the day, even if I didn't like the end product, I would still at least respect it because it's Kylie making the music she wants to make. And 31 years into her career at this point, she had more than earned that privilege. And I think that is part of what makes Golden so great, is the fact that it's Kylie doing what she wants to do. And so, we are up to date with Kylie Retrospectives. Disco awaits us. I have booked Friday off work and I am just going to lose myself in disco and just shut off from the rest of the world. This might be the last retrospective album for us to cover, but fear not, the series isn't over just yet. At some point next week, I will do a review of Disco as well. Obviously it won't be a retrospective because it'll be a week old, but I will do a video with my thoughts on each track. And there we have it. Thank you very much for tuning in. I've been ElliXia Q Valentine. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, stream Disco when it comes out, stream the fuck out of it, otherwise I'll come and find you, except I won't because we can't leave the house. So you're lucky this time. Thank you very much for watching. I've been ElliXia Q Valentine. It's been a pleasure as always, and don't forget, please book me. Mwah.